1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Out there in mandolin land, Mike Hedding here, coming to you today with the old classic song Boil Them Cabbage Down in the key of A. This is a super old, super easy melody, and we're going to work on 5 different variations. So once we know the basic melody, how do we spice it up a little bit? How do we change the rhythm of the picking? How do we add hammer-ons? How do we add drone strings? How do we, eventually combine all those together to kind of create a little bluegrass style solo? That's what we're going to work on for this lesson. I'll break down all 5 solos note for note and then show you a bunch of backup I would do. So we're going to work on 2-finger strumming chords, chop chords. We'll work on how to, again, play the 3 easy chords A, D, and E in the key of A, and a bunch of versions you can use to work on your rhythm playing. And if you're watching the preview of this lesson, you can head over to my website, MikeHeddingMusic.com, and grab the full lesson. You'll get access to watch all the videos, and you can download the tabs and the practice tracks. All right, here's Boil Them Cabbage Down in the key of A. All right, let's start breaking down this beginner lesson to Boil Them Cabbage Down in the key of A. This is a super simple old melody, and for absolute beginners, this will be a great lesson. It'll give you kind of an easy, quick win, hopefully. Get a song under your belt, get you playing along with the practice tracks. And for more advanced beginners, what I want you to work on is we're going to increase the speed a little bit. And what I also really want you to work on is your left hand technique, keeping your fingers hovering right over the frets they're going to be playing, and getting really consistent volume with your pick on your up strokes and down strokes, okay? We're going to change the picking up a little bit. We're going to look at adapting this basic melody. So once we know an easy melody, how do we change the picking? How do we add hammer-ons? How do we add some drone notes? So we're going to break that down in this lesson. I've got 5 variations on the basic melody. Let's start breaking down the basic melody. Here we go. All right, so this whole song is only 8 bars long, so it's not very long, and it'll be pretty easy to memorize. This would also be a good lesson to practice memorizing a piece of music and seeing if you can play it. Okay, so let me play the whole first variation, which is like the melody in its absolute simplest form, and then we'll start breaking it down. Here we go. Again. Okay, so this basic melody only has 4 notes that we have to play. And we're going to start playing all up on the A string, okay? And we're going to do this common picking pattern that's kind of called the shuffle rhythm. It comes from fiddle playing, where they use their bow and they do a long, short, short, long, short, short, long, short, short pick or bowing shuffle rhythm with the bow. And that's really what we're trying to mimic with our pick. So I'm going to take my second finger of my left hand, put it on the 4th fret of the A string. It's a C sharp note, and let's just practice that rhythm. So I'm going to do down, down, up, down, down, up. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. You'll see the pick direction below the tab. The staple-looking symbols are the downstrokes. The V-looking symbols are ups. So let's just practice that rhythm. I'm keeping the pressure of my left hand down the whole time, and I'm trying to get my notes to all be consistent in volume. Or you can practice it on an open A string as well. You could practice it on all the strings. It'd be good practice. So that's the rhythm we're going to do. This whole first part is going to be played with that rhythm, the down, down, up, down, down, up rhythm. Okay? So measure 1, there's no pickup to the basic version. We're just going to start on that 4th fret and play that rhythm. And then keep your second finger down, add your 3rd finger on the 5th fret, and play that same rhythm. Now back to the 4th fret, so take your 3rd finger off. That's why it's important to keep this one down. Now you just go right back to it. And then down to the 2nd fret with your 1st finger. So that's the first 4 measures, not too hard. So we just play 4, 5, 4, 2 with that rhythm. Again. So that's not too hard. So that's basically the first 4 measures. We just play that rhythm over and over again. And then we repeat that same melody line, 4th fret, 5th fret, same rhythm. And then this time just a little ending lick. We're going to do the 4th fret for half a measure. And then 2nd fret for half a measure. So 1 down, down, up on each note. And then open. We just want that last ending line to walk down. So that's the whole part. So let's play the second half. Second half's not too hard. Ending lick. So let's play that whole verse, or variation 1, not verse, variation 1. Here we go. Zoom in on the right hand once. What I want you to make sure you're not doing is only hitting the top pair of the string on the downstroke and then hitting the other one on the upstroke. I had a big problem with that when I first started, where I was kind of doing like, maybe like what I would call like turning a key, you know, where I was kind of like turning my hand, so I was like getting only half my volume. You want to hit both pairs on the way down and both on the way up. And what you can do is just visually look down. If you don't see both the strings moving, you didn't hit both of them. And what I'm doing there to just practice is resting on the next pair of strings. So I go down and stop. And that kind of ensures that I really hit both of them. So that's what I want you to focus on. Again, the melody is going to be very simple. It's about getting good tone and timing. And if you're an absolute beginner, again, you're working on coordinating your left hand to where when you add the 5th fret, for example, you get that note down before you play your pick, so you don't get a clunky note. You can also see my fingers are basically hovering over frets 2, 4, and 5. So I'm not also kind of, every time I come back, I'm not coming back here. That's another common beginner mistake, is every time you play a note is lift up and like bring your hand way back here. Look how much further you have to go when you do that, right? So keep your fingers above the frets. You know, I'm even hovering very close to the note, so I don't even have to go down very much. You know, the further you go up, the further you have to come back down. So one more time, let's play that whole variation 1. Here we go. Again. Not too hard there. So for variation 2, what we're going to do is we're going to change the picking. So we're going to keep all of our left hand notes the same. And this is, again, a really good skill, I think, when you think about creating variations. I think most beginners and most, you know, when you're first thinking about creating a variation, you always think, okay, I have to change the pitches, right? Let me change the pitches. But the second you change the pitches, you're immediately kind of straying from the melody, right? So that adds another element. Sometimes you do want to change the pitches, but a lot of times what you can do to create a variation is just change the rhythm of your picking hand. So that's all we're going to do for this first variation 2, is we're going to do down, up, down, up, down, down. So 1 and 2 and 3, 4, instead of 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. So we're going to play everything the same except just change the rhythm. So we're going to go. So that's measure, I guess it would be measure 9. It's measure 1 of variation 2. So we have. So now we're going down, up, down, up, down, down. And then same thing on the 5th fret. Back. 2nd fret. 4th fret. 5th fret. And then picking all the way down. So we changed the rhythm slightly, but you still hear the melody, right? Okay, so once you get those two down, I think you'll be able to get that with some practice. One thing you could do is combine the two versions. So maybe I start with variation 1. Now go into variation 2. Maybe back to variation 1. Maybe back to variation 2. You know, so you can combine the two versions. You could literally just take one section from either version, and you could do this with all 5 variations that we'll break down. So again, the goal of this lesson, it's good to play it as I wrote it, but what I really want you to do is practice creating your own variations. Really try and drill that melody into your head. Every note we played so far is a melody note. We're not getting away from the melody yet. So this will be a good melody to try and get into your head and then work on creating variations for it.